say that Parshas, I can't really tell you a reason for. The Chayre Mishkan was mitzvah after the Egel. So the Chayre should have Kisisa first and stuff like that. On the other hand, there's days that even if there wouldn't have been the Chat Egel, there still would have been a Beis Mishkan. Or the thing there, Shiloh, what you'd want from it, or this, whatever it is. So maybe he puts that in first. I can't answer, I don't know. But the Lamaisa is around the same time. So the Benishul, so Rashiv asked the Kashi, he says, you want to make an appeal. So how do you make an appeal? We got such an institution. We do this. We want to build a Beis HaMikdash. We want to build this. It has to have a Zohar, a Chesed, has to have the Chesed, beauty and expense, and no expense is barred. And who's donating, right? That's the way you make it. You make your speech first, and then you go in and you ask for the money. Eventually, you don't want it that way. You want to ask for the money first. I'm asking you my cut. What cut do you got, God? I gave it all to you. My cut. It's in the equally Terumah. I want you to give me Terumah. What I do with it is my business. When he finishes telling what he wants, then you'll make a mishkan for me. I'm not doing it for me, I'm doing it for you, whatever it is. But as far as how he went about it, it's Bibles. It's not coming, I'm taking yours. I'm not asking you for your donations, I'm asking you for mine. We have to understand what's called, he says, we call the div livlay. It's called Ashisha Yidvenu Liboy. What's in the div lave? So we find the Nisim who gave millions for the Mishkan because they gave the Avnei Maluyim the Avnei Shoyam, the Ketairis, the Shem Lamor. They had millions. They took a yud from them. They're not in the div life. The average yidl, they gave maybe $25. He's in the div life. How do you become a div life? What makes it a div life? I guess it's a shaykhis in every institution. You have certain guys that are skonim, right? But they're always trying to develop business. How successful? Depends. Some have pension, some have tzlocha, you know. And then you got the big fish, the guy that gave you the building, right? Who's the choshev guy? The guy gave the building, or this little guy that's the tumla, right? So that's what we see from here. That the ikir is the guy that gives the building because he's got millions, billions, and he's got, and he hit him because his father needs a name, and he needs a nice building for his father. And something like that, you can sell him a good Baba Meister. That doesn't make a person live life. It makes the thing possible. Without him, you wouldn't have it, that's for sure. But the Lamaisa is not a Divleis. A Divleis is a guy that's an Askun with you constantly. And we don't prove it here, we prove it later, except according to the Goyim, which you're actually talking about actual days, so I don't know how to touch that up, so I can answer you. But the guy that comes in and says, what do you need today? That's the simplest question. What do you need? And then when you tell me what I need, I go get him. Now, you don't know it from here, from later on. What happened was, they came by Baker. Now the fellow, I guess, sat down, and the Asian gave him the brains anyway. It's not something he went to school for. He's 13 years old, and he figures out that we're going to build an Aehren. An Aehren's going to take us X amount of gold, X amount of silver, whatever it is, how much you need, where you get it from, how much can they do in one day. Don't forget they have to thin it out, they have to flatten it out, and there's a lot of work has to be done in this thing. So, I used to say this all the time. I mean, I don't know how emes it is, but years ago, I probably this emes. At least a big chelik of emes. United States was the order capital of the world, right? You had 5 brands and what do you call it? In the motors. How do you call it? The big company. Then you have an American Motors. You had 3 companies. You had Chrysler, another 3 companies. Right? A lot of companies. All the cars are made here. No such thing as a Jap car. Before the war, of course not. The only thing you had was Fords. Dodgers, you had also. You had the cars, but basically, whoever heard of a Honda or what do you call it? What's this markup? That comes after the war. All of a sudden, they overtake the American market. You know, a funny thing, when he made tariffs, the president, the Japanese cars had no tariffs. You know why? They were made in America. The American cars were made in Mexico. They had tariffs. Okay. All right, so we have a thing there. The fact that it's an American company means nothing. Nothing means anything. Okay. So they divided themselves, let's say. What can I think of the word? The Motors. The biggest company in the world. The way that company went, America went.
General Motors?
General Motors. Right? Is that General? I'm going to the word General. Okay. General Motors. So General Motors had, let's say, they're making 5 kinds of cars. They made the Caddies and the Plymouths and the Chevys and the Sotos and the Indian, whatever the Indian was again, whatever it is. There's 5 men there. But they also have divisions. We make the brakes. Division X makes the motors. Over there they make the batteries. Over there they make the things. I don't know how long it takes to make a machine. But I would assume that a battery It comes off the machine a lot faster than a motor would come off the machine. Right? There's less parts, there's what he called, so it's going to be easier. You make more. So what happens with America? America, they have to put the cars together. So they made today 100 motors, 1,000 brakes, right? Something, whatever it is there. So I have to have a place to put 900 brakes because I don't have any cars to put them into. Right? So I got to have a building. Got to build now storage houses. I need watchmen. I need what he called. He just added on to your course so much. Japs used to build, how many cars we're building today? 10? 10 motors, 10 batteries, and this, and that, and that. We have it there, no storage, no what he called, no what he called. He's finished. So able to sell it for so much cheaper than American cars. And it's having a bit of a simple economics. It doesn't take brains about it. Simple economics. That's what they did. That was the Mishkan. Yet we shouldn't have any executive directors in any yeshiva. What do you have an executive director for? Right? Why does everyone need an executive director? A CEO? I don't have the money when I need the money. So the kasha is, somebody's got to worry about where's lunch coming from today. And he's got to figure out how to get money today. And then when he figures how to get money today, he's got to figure out how to pay back that money tomorrow. So therefore I need a guy. But what happens if I just take the money every day comes in for itself? So I have no problem. Just bring it in, we just go to the grocery store and you got the food and there's nothing else. We don't need no executive directors for this. That was the Mishkan. No executive directors. So there was a person, he came every morning. What are you making today? Oh, you need X amount. Makes a cheshbon, I'm one of 600,000. Okay, this is my chelik. Here it is. Got it. And he drops it off. Comes back tomorrow. But then there's the big gevir. He gives you the whole thing. Here's a blank check. Don't worry about it. Don't bother me. I don't want to know for nothing. That's not in this place. The first guy, he's in this place. He cares. He cares about what's happening. So even though he's a small guy, but he cares. That's the important.
How does someone become a divlate? How does a person become a divlate? How does a person do that?
I'd become anything else in this world. I'm going to tell you. And that's, you got to take and work on it. I mean, the question I would think better the other way. How's the executive director not makshiv in a div lave more than the other guy? Because I'm working on him to get the $1 million from him. From him, I don't care. I don't have to work with him. He'll come in. Hey, I got him already. It does not even mechabed him. That's a bigger kasha. So that's basically what the Rebbeinu wanted. We'll talk about individual things as we go along. Now, the Rebbeinu, I assume, gave the tzivuim this way. And that's the way Moshe Rabbeinu wrote in the Torah. And B'Tzalel supposedly came over to Moshe Rabbeinu and said to him, well, how do you build a kalim where a house to put it into? Right? So he's called B'Tzel Kel. Right? The kasha don't make any sense. The teretz don't make any sense. When was the Mishkan finished? Chafei Kislev. Right? When was Hakomas HaMishkan? Rosh Chodesh Nisan. How many months did it lay dismantled when the thing over there, no insides, no outsides, no nothing? So what difference would it make with which one you made first? Right? So what are you telling me? The tower with that Svara, wow, that's a great Svara. It's not a Svara at all. And there's no base, there's no building. They made it kink up. Okay, so you gotta learn Pshat. I guess, this is all guessing, right? You gotta learn Pshat, that how it should normally be. You should normally build a building first and put the building. Okay, so that's your thing normally, okay? Maybe the Mishkan has some more higher degrees of learning than normally. It wasn't the case. Okay. So the first thing to talk about is the Aron. The Aron that maintains the Luchas, which is the Torah. And that's the Ikka. There's nothing else. That is the Ikka of Klal Yisrael. We don't have a new Aron. Not going to be a new Aron when the Beis HaMikdash comes along. It'll be the same Aron. It's going to come up from somewhere it's buried, whoever it's buried, and it's going to come up, and that's what we're going to use. Right? No, it's once you got that has the luchas, that has everything in it. Now, stop to think about it. We know luchas v'kiv v'shivre luchas m'lochem b'aron. Right? So from that we learn how to Greisid halacha, that a Talmud Chacham that forgot his Torah and the Chayv to mechaber him like it was before. Was it the same Aron? Everybody makes the cheshbon, that's the same Aron. Right? They figure out that was the Yotze Tefach over there, it's broken pieces, however it is here, and it's all in the same box. I don't know what I'm talking about now. But somehow it's mashed to me, it's two different boxes. Where do I get it from? In Akev, it says over there that the Aron, I made an Aron, I'd say Shitim, because they got to have a place to put the stuff. When he went for the first luchas, he didn't have any Aron. When he went for the second luchas, he made an Aron. The ancient said, make an Aron. And Rashi makes them and sends over there, that is the Aron that went to war with them. Right? That Aron. And in there, the Shivei Luchas list. Hey. I got the whole story wrong then. They made an Aron. Maybe, why didn't they make the first one? That's not my business. Ben she wasn't a tzaddik. I don't care what you do with the Luch. Someone has to hold the Sefer Torah and back over there. They know one built them in that thing over there. So you'll hold the Sefer Torah. So someone will hold the luchas. What are you going to do? But I can't even see you. But for the second luchas, says Meferish, he builds the Aron. So you'll put the luchas in there. He has the Shivei luchas. He puts him in there. So, does it make sense that every time they went to war, they'd say, hold it, we can't go to war yet. We got to go get the Shivei Luchas from the Aron and put it into this other Aron, so so we can take it out with us. Doesn't sound right to me. First of all, how do you walk into the kosher to go into the Aehron to get out the shiver luchas? So I can't get them out. So they got to be there the whole time. Where is this Aehron? That I don't know the answers for either. I think though. But maybe there are two different aroinas. Then we have no problem. Then we have the whole thing. I said, I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't know. So that's another one. Okay. And you know the Chochmah of Rashi. You know that Bezalel made 3 boxes, and made two gold ones, one wooden one in the middle, and the interior, the outer exterior. I don't really know. I don't know. When you say something's gold-plated, you're not machshav it too much, right? Silver-plated. Hey. Right? Not gold, it's not silver. How do you make plate? So one thing we got to learn about gold is a very interesting thing. It's the most malleable of all metals. That means they say you can take for 1 ounce of gold, which I assume is about this big, right? And can make a mile worth of wire from it without it breaking. The trouble is, as you go along and make something thinner and thinner and thinner, somewhere along the time it breaks. Gold does not break. That's the reason why you can still buy your wife some jewelry. Once upon a time, you bought $100 worth of earrings, so I got a pair of earrings, because gold was selling for about $100 an ounce. I'm not talking about $35 an ounce, the what do you call it, money, but we're talking about the market value. Now it's what, $3,000 an ounce? So how do I get a pair of earrings for my wife? Right? And my wife, I still see all the women wear Baruch Hashem earrings. They were not wearing any less earrings than they were in my time. So how come, what happened to them? I was able to afford it. You make them thinner. That's all it is. Now it's less gold in it. That's the whole thing. So we're going to talk about that. That's why it's very important to understand. That's why there's no such thing as pure gold. Pure gold is 24 karat. You can't use 24 karat. I can catch with my fingers. That's how soft it is. But you want it hard. So you make it 14 karat, 18 karat. That's the biggest you go up to. You don't go, no one. I haven't seen anything more than 18 carats. 10 carats you'll have. That's only because once you're down to 14, so they're making 10 because now gold is so expensive, so instead of giving you 14, we give you 10. What is the thing there? Okay. So I say, I don't know how they do it. Would you plate it this way? Or put a piece of, bang it down, a stick of gold, until it covers it? I have no idea how you plate. How do you plate a ring? You dip it in the gold, with gold. So when it's liquid, I don't know. Because if that was the case, why not do that with the wood too? Put the whole oven into this big pot that has boiled gold in it, and then covered with gold. With the kasha. What do I need this chochmah of 3 boxes? Okay, what's a chokhmah? Okay. Yeah, and then you make a badim atzeshitim to carry it. But one thing, the Torah has to be everywhere. It has no mokum. It doesn't, mokum is not the Kodesh Kdoshim. Its mokum is the world. So therefore, the badim never leave the Oren. It's always an immovable slate. It's always ready to go. Whatever it is. That's what we're doing. Okay, and you put the rotation. So we still don't have a top for it. The oven's only the box. Didn't have a hinged top. That's going to be the kapelis. Okay, so we had a younger man, sure Leader was his name. He was a curious guy. And he always bothered him the weights. So how much do luchas weigh? I don't know. We don't have a picture of luchas over there. Okay, so I can't tell you. Okay, how much do luchas weigh? 2 squares, or not squares. They're either chotzi cubes or 2 cubes. Right? Of stone. How much do they weigh? So we know that the luchas is supposed to be made out of sapphire, right? So he looked up sapphire. He used the Rosh Yeshiva's cheshbon of Amma. It was 21 1/4 inches to the Amma. And so Amma by Amma, nothing goes from there. And it came out that the luchas weigh about 5,000 pounds. A little hard to hold, but okay. Then went and made the kapelis. How big is the kapelis? 2.5 amas by 1.5 amma, 1.5 amma. Using again the Rosh Yeshiva's cheshbon and the tefach thick. That's the main thing there. It came out that the kapelis weighs 5,000 pounds. Now we got 10,000 pounds in the oven. Who's picking it up? 4 guys? Right? Never make it. I'll tell you, I'm not even worried about breaking, I'm making it. The bottom will break. Not only will the bottom break, but the things, the sockets, where you put the bottom in, which is pure gold, that's going to stretch itself out to be staying on the floor. So how do you carry it? So obviously the whole thing's in this. Aron noises. You're not carrying the Aron. The Torah carries you. You don't carry the Torah. So why you call it Noisov? Call it one hitch a ride, get on the Aron. Why you call it Noisov? You're not carrying it. So I want to tell you that they maybe had to at least start off carrying it. Okay, let's go lift. 1, 2, 3. As it's going up, it keeps going up and up and up and whatever it is there. And they're flying. Okay. So you had Nisim constantly. That's the main point. You know, when the Mishnah over says, I saw Nisim Nasal the same as Hamikdash, right? Like, what was the point of it? You always see there's a God. Now, it's not just a building anymore. The smoke goes straight up. It goes up this way maybe in the second Mitzvah English, but it doesn't go like this. Okay, so we did that. The second holiest piece, the Chayla in my mind would be a menorah, right? So number 3. The Shulchan. Shulchan is Gashmias. What are you making that the number 2? The Ruchni's got to be the number 1. So this is my svara. And this will explain how come when the things that are mentioned, that they wanted that you should donate to the Mishkan, it doesn't say flour. You could have given me flour to make a lechem aponim from. Right? Why not? If you give me the oil, you give me this, you give me that, you give me this too. They'll say, lechem aponim is a korban. So therefore comes from the Machzah Shekel. Could be, I'm not disagreeing, about somehow from the fact that the Posik ends off with the Nasiyas HaShulchan, but Nasat HaShulchan Lechem Ponim Lefonai Tomid, I would assume that the Lechem HaPonim is the chelik of the Shulchan. The Shulchan without Lechem HaPonim is not a Shulchan. That's Lechem HaPonim. So it should be from the money that they go to the Mishkan. So why don't it say? So I came out with this svara. Comes to Torah, if Jews decide they're not learning Torah, there's no Torah. So in fact, the only ones that can learn Torah are Jews. Don't learn Torah, there's no Torah. But when the Rebbeinu Shem tells me, I want you to make this and this and this for me, he's supposed to give me the money for it, right? And he doesn't. He gave me, that's enough. That's where you're wrong. If the Rebbeinu Shem is giving you, and this is the way, if the person lives his life this way, he won't have that much problems. One thing the Bernshen promised is food. I feed you. This guy makes $1,000 a week. This guy makes $100 a week. He doesn't have enough money. For him, it's just bread and butter. For him, it's without the butter. And for him, it's whatever it is. He has some other things with it. Right? Different levels. The Rebbeinu Shem is giving you what it takes to feed your family. You have it. I just went into the store. And the in-store said, $3.95. I don't have enough. Go to the store around the corner. It's only $2.75 there. But you're going to get it. It's available. It's shaykhs. You don't want to look, that's a different story. But l'maisa, I gave you this much for parnasa, it supports you. Now, everybody wants a better parnasa. It's a different parsha. Not the way that I want a parnasa. I want a better parnasa. I was good. I got bread and butter. Who wants bread and butter? I want a steak. I wanted this, I want that. Okay, that's a different story already. And the thing over there, why you need it, when you need it. And that's mechumas with yourself. But that's how you grow up. There's no one that's going to starve on what he put. She'll ask me, I wasn't there in Europe. About people were hungry, right? America, I don't know anybody hungry. Again, I don't know how much of a tzorah it is. When do you have a better appetite? When you're hungry or not hungry? When you're hungry. Right? It's a great geschmack to the food. Even if I only have bread, right? The bread somehow tastes very good when I'm hungry. Right? Nothing else. It's yesterday's bread, and it's still good. The same thing. So hunger makes the geschmackheit. So who says it's a tana? Who says it's a tana? Now, I don't have to fill the hunger. That's a tana. But if I have, I just got to wait, or I got to get I'm hungry until I get it. So it's a tana. Now, I do know, and this my mechutin told me, seems his family had relatives that were rich. So I think he said it on himself, I'm not sure. He was in Slobodka for 14 years. So he went to an uncle once. So like this, he didn't have anything, just bread. And they brought out smetana, that's sour cream, or cream, and kez, and cheese, and red eggs. Oh, he's going to have a meal today, right? Nishmat, right? And he gets himself ready to eat, and he takes, let's say, the smetana, so he take away the other two things. His uncle says to him, I have everything, but only one a day. Okay, now, going into the Musa point, you're supposed to train yourself not to get too gashmistic. I can't answer you why, but I don't think we do that. I said, Baruch Hashem, it's all on the table. You have other things. Okay, but they had the bread. That's the yikir, the bread. Now, my father told me the difference between the communists and under the czars. Under the czars, people starved to death. Or starved. I don't want to say the death. That is a big thing. You see, in the even in the Anshim, in Fikiovas, with this hunger, the hunger without clear, just hunger, there's an ache, I always want something, but I don't die from it. Then there's a hunger you die from. The communists were very interested that people should not starve to death. And that's how they got the people. When they became in charge, you got 3 pounds of bread a day to every person. Once you have bread, you're not starving anymore. The geschmack, it's a different story. Yeshiva, Baruch Hashem, is pretty geschmack. But most about you guys don't know what bread is. I have no asogi. You gotta be yeshiva Baruch what bread is. I live next to the bakery, one of the two. And the same thing. I never ate stale bread when I was a kid. Now I do. When I was a kid, the stale bread, they made 2 deliveries a day to every bakery. We got one before we were coming home from shul the first time, and around lunchtime was the second time, and that covered the lunch and supper, and you had fresh bread both times. That's how you had it. Right? Now, how's a guy buy bread? He's a worker man. Oh, I got to pick up bread. Coming home from the office at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, he walks into the bakery. Oh, give me a 2-pound bread. 2 pound bread, it's usually yesterday's already. They're telling that to you, but all right, well, even today's it also was baked 2 o'clock in the morning. It's stale now. And you're going to first eat it tomorrow morning. So, and you're going to say, oh, das ist frische Bread. Come to yeshiva, you'll know what fresh bread is. Okay. We get a delivery every morning. It's fresh. All right out of the bakery. So guys can sit and eat bread. The bread tastes good when they're fresh. You can eat it all you want. It has nothing to do with this, but it's... The union of the menorah. I think this is a Mosadic. We'll take this one. It's really a Hanukkah speech. It has nothing to do with this. There is, I don't know, I haven't been there since 1974. So I don't know what exists there anymore. I think maybe I was there once after that, maybe. Also in the 1900s. In Yerushalayim, in the old city, there is a group of people that made the Klei HaMishkan. Okay. When I was there in 74, they had a silver menorah with 7 things like this. No gviyim, no kafterim, no prochim. And then we learn that you don't need them unless you make, in other words, a menorah you must have. But I don't have to have a menorah shel Zohav. So the story of Hashmonaim and Menachos was the first time when they defeated, that was doch what they defiled, the menorah. When they defeated them, they made the first menorah out of wood or stone. Shall have a couple tumor and stuff like that. The second, the Nisashru, they became richer. They made it out of metal. Nisashru, they became richer, they made it out of silver. Nisashru, they became richer, they made it out of gold, and then you need the prochim, kafterim, and why? First of all, I want to give my thanks to Richard. Richard doesn't mean money. Richard means chshivas haTorah. What do I mean by that? Because I say, why can't it mean money? Because the first battle that they won, they killed out hundreds of thousands of Greeks. If they took all their spears, you have enough metal to make the biggest menorah you want in the world. So you had metal right away. So why do they have to make it out of wood and stone first? That's why I say what it means is it was Nesashu. It was a poor Madrege, the Torah, in Hashmonaim's time. And I remember this. What do you make out of wood and stone? Table, right? It's not a precision instrument. Something we need, no question about it. So this is how they treated the Torah. They would come to the rabbi and they'd say, Rabbi, this chicken kosher treif. The rabbi says it's kosher. But this is the reason. Rabbi, please don't mix me up with reasons. I'm not interested. Kosher treif. That's all I want to know. It's a keli. It's a tool. The Torah is a tool of knowing what you can eat. That's it. But it's not made for my mind. It's not made for anything else. Nisashru. At that time, Baruch Hashem, have to say that I'm want to learn a little bit, a little sharper. I need precision instruments. Now you need metal. You sharpen it to the point where it's really dark. Okay, I'm willing to do it. What about a parnasa? Nah, not a job for good Jewish boys. Not good Jewish boys are not rabbis, not rebellion. They're not these things. Not a job for good Jewish boys. Nisashru, take a job as a malamed. Okay, it's not the top of the line, but to make a living with it, you can live there. I'll take it. Okay. That was to be silver. Came panosa. The sashru came gold. What's the mail of gold? Gold you don't do nothing with. What do you do with gold? The only reason people made gold teeth was because they had to stick the gold somewhere. That's the only thing they made gold teeth with it. You know, do you ever think about it? Rabbi Akiva had gold and silver kalim in his house. Chairs, beds, everything was made up. Rabbi Akiva was such a, what do you call it? I mean, I'd be mevuzah with such a thing. When tell me about how rich I was, I made my house with no banks. So I had two choices. I can go back to my backyard and bury it, right? Or use it. So why should I make a wooden bed and bury my silver? I'm going to make a golden bed and use a golden bed. What's the difference? I got to go to the store, chop off a piece of the leg and go to the store. You got your money. What's your problem? Okay. So gold has no real use. So why do we want it for? But everybody wants it. All right? Everybody wants gold. Now that everybody wants it, now you need kafter and kvar, and now you need a form. Till then it was only in the hands of Talmidei Chachamim, people sitting and learning. I don't have to give you any direct form. We're all serving God. Whatever it be. My machmalikis that Yolari Mechal Shabbos is a mutadika halacha. Ain't not allowed to be Mechal Shabbos is a mutadika halacha. I'll give you what I mean by that with the thing there. You have a machlekes to Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Akiva, in Machshirei Mitzvah, Alidoiche Mila, Alidoiche Shabbos by Mila. But we pass like Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Eliezer, and Mechal Shabbos. Mamish, Mechal Shabbos, Chayv, Visa, Skilla, right? Yet when the Romans made Gzeicha against Mila, they made it against Rabbi Akiva's city and not against Rabbi Eliezer city. Hey, how can he be former than me? He's a Mechal Shabbos, he's telling me he's former than me. Not for me. What he is he's a marsh in the mitzvah of Mila. Mila comes along once. 15 times. To a guy in his family, right? Is it a big avil if you had to make your own knife every time? It's more expensive. Okay, not $1,000, not $2,000, or $5,000, whatever it'll be, right? I need a meal knife. And that's what we did. Right? And Rabbi Eliezer, because of Machal Shabbos, Rabbi Eliezer did this every single time. Made new milah, cut down the trees, burn them, cut charcoal, make metal out of it, whatever it is. Rabbi Akiva, you can't do it on Shabbos. Oh, so we call the big bris for today on Shabbos, right? We all show up, and everyone says, "Who's got the knife?" Right? The Moel also didn't have a knife then. Yosef made never one for each meal, so the Moel didn't have a knife either. Right? No knife. Well, what are we going to do? Oh, Yaakov made a meal yesterday. Maybe he still has the knife from yesterday. So we went over to Yankel's house and we get yesterday's knife. Right? Somehow you weren't mechabed milah too much this time, were you? And then the next time you come along and said, "Hey, why do I got to knock myself out and make a new knife?" Right? Call the Moel. He has his own knives all the time. Right? So that's what we do. We're mevazeh the mitzvah milah. And when you don't even know how bad you are mevazeh mitzvah milah by that attitude. Okay? What you're doing, I'm not getting involved in that. Okay. All of us, you got it? We'll do it. It's not choshev enough to go make special. So Rabbi Eliezer was mechabed milah more than Shabbos. Okay, it wouldn't make no sense, son. We weren't. So that Bezoyan cost us this thing about the Igita of Shabbos, and Rabbi Akiva didn't go around calling Rabbi Eliezer Machal Shabbos. Rabbi Eliezer didn't go around calling him a mevazeh milah and a thing like that, because Torah is Torah. We're looking for emes, each one's trying to do his best, there's no question about it. So we're not mavaz anyone. But once it gets into the hands of the people, I'm firmer than you. I'm better than you. What these girls there, they don't understand the machlekes. They don't care about the machlekes. They give their own reasons to the mitzvahs of what they're doing and whatever it is there. And I'm stuck in something like that now. I'm not going to tell you the machlekes, I don't know. But there's letters going around. It's a lake with the machlekes, not here. Here's my signature on something. And the truth is, I agree with them. And I won't give it. Why won't you give it? Your motive is not that. I don't like your motive. In other words, if you want to let me write my own letter, that's a different story. But sign your letter, I ain't signing your letter. I saw in the letters, they sent me originally the first letters that came out. Each one is claiming to be a bigger tzaddik than the other tzaddik. I'm not getting involved in puzzling anybody. no one's a bigger tzaddik. Two guys trying to do Dvar Hashem, Rishonim on both sides of the picture, wonderful people. You want to do that, there's no reason why you should be, against these guys, or whatever it is there. But it's not because I want to be called frommer than you. It's not enough that I'm going to be, that it's okay to take it. I'm not puzzling your kid, I'm not going to spoil your kid, I'm also a former kid. I already give it. No, I want to be called frommer than you. No, we don't let such people into our school. Why? Because tomorrow you're going to become the majority, you're going to tell our people, they're not firm enough. So we're not letting you in the first place. And over there. Why is that part of the cheshbon? Why is that a necessity? And it's not even pshat that they what do you call it? They made up the reason themselves of what the reason there's such a mitzvah. Neilam machmer. Without asking basic questions. That is the biggest problem in the thing over there. So therefore, once it's in the hands of every person in the world, right now we're learning Daf Yomi, or what do you call it, Yoni? Everybody's learning Torah, everyone's becoming his own posik, everyone's becoming his own order. The Gemara says, not like this and this and that and that. Now we need an order. Now you need someone to tell you exactly how to do it. Before then, we didn't need it because nobody knew how to do it. No one cared how to do it. They asked the rabbi, maybe he told them. But now each one makes their own decisions. Now you got to tell them how to do it. That's why when it's gold, you have to have kafteich and frochim and levim. Stuff like this. Have a good Shabbos, everybody. Shabbos.